Welcome to another episode of the Carlito Monroe Show. I'm your host, Carlito Monroe. And before we get started, as always, all my social media information is at the bottom of the screen. All of them are the same, Carlito Monroe Show. YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. I'm going to try to shorten this up as much as I can, which I have a hard time doing it because I'm kind of detailed with stories so I can paint the picture so you can kind of visualize the situation that happened. This particular story, I guess it would probably be the first time I got my heart broken. And it's probably not your stereotypical heartbreak story. It's not a pretty story, but it's a true story. It's just what it is. So in high school, I think I was like 16. And met the girl. Her name was Lisa. I think she was 16 also. She could have been a 17-year-old junior. But whatever the case, she was a hood girl, whatever that means. But she lived in the projects, which, that doesn't make that big a difference. But her way of thinking about things was just totally different than mine. And I think that somewhat intrigued me. So me and her dated. And as time went on, I started getting signs that she was cheating on me. Whatever cheating means to you. So it was a girl at school. I can't remember her name. Maybe Cassandra or Sandra, something like that. She's a real skinny chick. And then she said, hey, Carlito, you and Lisa still together? And I'm like, yeah, we still together. What's up? And then she was like, well, I was at this party over the weekend and she was with my ex. And they was hugged up and kissing. And then he came up to me and introduced her to me as his girlfriend. And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, who was the dude? And she was like, oh, it's my ex. His name was Moses. She said his name's Moses, but, I was like, man, what the hell going on? So, I questioned Lisa about it. And what Lisa said was, she was just acting like she was the girlfriend because she cool with Moses dude, and he asked her to act like it to make Cassandra or Sandra jealous. So I blew it off. I was green on that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it is. I'd take her word for it. So a little time went by, and what ended up happening next was I ended up going to a party where it was a lot of house parties, but I went to this party where my cousin was like, yeah, come through. And it was people that my cousin knew. And there was a guy there that my cousin knew, and he's like, yeah, man. He said, hey, do you mess with this girl such and such? And then I was like, I don't know who that is, because he said some random name. But it was like a nickname. And as a little further investigation as time went on, come to find out he was talking about Lisa because she had a chip too. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Lisa. He was like, oh, no, her name was Nunu or something. I mean, just some like little hood name that they called her. But she had a whole nother persona with them that I didn't know nothing about. So it was some name. I can't even think of it offhand. But he was like, oh, yeah, my boy Moses owned that pussy. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it's for somebody to say that they own your girlfriend or wife's or woman's vagina that's tough. That's a hard pill to swallow. Matter of fact, I never swallowed that pill. It just got caught up in my throat. And my heart dropped in my drawers because I was just like, man, what? To say somebody own it? And I'm like, oh, man, that must not be her. And he was like, no, that's us. She go by this name, Nunu, Nene, and Nana, Wet, or whatever the hell names they got. But it was a double name like that. So I was like, man, nah, that ain't her, whatever. So we get in the car, in my cousin's car, and then we go to Lisa, to the projects. We go to Lisa. I'm like, nah, man, we getting this straight right now. So we go there, and she wasn't there. Her mother her mother came to the door. It's like, she ain't here. So I'm like, oh, okay. He was like, man, I was going to have to go and tell us, hey, Lisa, man, come on, just stop doing this dude like that, man. Moses be handling you. That's what he said that he planned on telling her in front of me. And I'm like, yo, man, this is terrible. So I just felt terrible after that. So I couldn't even continue on hanging out at the party, whatever. I was ready to roll. So I see her at school that Monday or whatever. And I'm like, man, this dude say he know you. We came by there, whatever. I didn't even consider like, where was she at presently? I was looking at it like, we was there to question you or whatever. And then she was like, I would have slammed the door in your face. You don't come question me about shit. And especially what it look like. 3 niggas coming in my door and you trying to question me what this is and what that is or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but he was saying that the Moses dude, the same dude you said you was cool with. So you just gonna believe everybody but me? I ain't got time for this shit. And she walks away from me at the school. So I end up running to the Cassandra. And then she was like, man, what's up with Lisa? I was like, man, I don't know. I heard a new, stories about her and this Moses dude. Then she was like, I told you they together. I don't know why you don't believe me. And I was like, well, she said she was just playing and acting out for him to make you jealous. And she was like, well, they ain't look like there was a lot of playing, because it bothered me a little bit because I was watching Moses and Lisa at the party. She said, I was watching them the whole time and they was hugged up, dancing, kissing in the corner. I mean, if you was going to be acting, that's what she was telling me. If you was going to be acting like you with somebody, when he walked up to me with his arm around her neck, it would have been that. And that would have been, the acting part. But to be kissing and hugged up when you don't even know if I'm looking at you or not, that ain't acting. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. So I'm mad at her because she over here telling the truth. For the most part, I'm mad at her. So some time go on. She ain't talking to me. She mad at me when she done flipped it on me. Because she mad at me for bringing the dudes, my cousin and his friend and me coming to the house. And I'm the one supposed to be mad at her because you ain't explained shit about this Moses dude. So I want to say maybe she ain't talking to me. And this is something that guys tend to do with women. When they want to get with another girl, if they got a girlfriend or whatever, and they want to say you're a guy and you got a girlfriend, when this other girl you want to hook up with, you'll spark a fight with your current girlfriend, or when your girlfriend gets on you about you not answering the phone or something like that, you'll spin it on her and be mad at her. Well, you don't trust me, and be mad at her, and then don't talk to her, and that give you time to breathe and go deal with the other girl. So like I said, that's something men do. And I didn't figure at the time, I'm 16. She really hood. I grew up in the hood too, but you know what I'm saying? But I was in school a lot playing sports. I wasn't all the way hood, but she was all in the streets like that. So she done flipped it on me. So what she ended up doing was she hadn't talked to me in a couple of days, and then I called her. And when I called her, we didn't have cell phones and shit at that time. This was years ago. This was 80. No, this was 90. This was 90. I graduated in 91. This was 90. So, we didn't have cell phones and stuff. Then there were cell phones around, but it was like the bags and all that. But none of us had it, So, so I called her. I called her at her house, and then her mother was like, "Oh, she's at Teresa's house." And then so Teresa lived in like 2 buildings over, but it was the same project. So I called Teresa because I had Teresa's number. That was her best friend. So I called Teresa. She answered the phone. She like, hello? And I'm like, I said, yeah, this Carlito, put Lisa on the phone. And she was like, the fuck you doing calling my house? Blah, 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 blah. And before I can even say any kind of vulgar language back, she hung up on me. I'm like, the fuck going on? So I called back. So when I called back, she was like, why the fuck you keep calling her? She don't want to talk to you. You on some bullshit. Bah, 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 bah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with you? I was like, man, put her on the fucking phone or I'm coming the fuck over there. You know what I mean? And that's what I got that off. And when I got that off, she still yelling some shit. Then I heard a dude in the background. But I'm thinking like, wait, the first thing popped in my head is Teresa is there. My girl, Lisa, is there. And there's some nigga in the background talking about who is that? Ooh, just some bass. I don't know who that is, but it could have just been somebody for Teresa. But I'm like, fuck that. I want to know who that is. My woman over there, right? So I'm like, who the fuck is that? Don't you worry about who it is. That's how we minding our own business. Blah, 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 blah. And so the dude like, man, who the fuck is that? Man, give me that motherfucking phone. He takes the phone from her. He was like, hello? Hey, don't be calling her for my motherfucking gal. Lisa, my bitch, nigga. Don't be calling my motherfucking house, pussy ass motherfucker. And then he hangs the phone up. I'm hot. I'm already thinking some bullshit going on. Now I'm on fire. 16-year-old boy in the hood, on fire, pissed. I called my partner, said, I'm like, yo, this nigga over here talking shit. I got to beat his ass. He's like, oh, well, we got to go to the Jets. He like, oh, man, come on, man. You don't want to do that. I said, look, man, I'm going the fuck over there. You going with me or not? He grabbed his 38, and I go pick him up. We head over there. So we get to the spot. I go beating on the door like I'm the police. I'm beating it with the flat hammer hand. Boom, 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 beating the door. And then boom, 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 and they ain't coming to the door. She comes to the window and look out. Carlita, what the fuck you doing here? And I'm like, bitch, open the fucking door. Boom, boom, boom. I'm kicking, and I start kicking the shit out the fucking door. She like, get the fuck out of here. I'ma call the police. I was like, fuck you and fuck that other bitch. Get that nigga out here. Whoever the fuck was talking on the phone talking shit, get that nigga out here. I'm gonna beat his motherfucking ass. That's me. That's where I'm at with it. I'm on one now. You done invited me to a party. You invite me to a party, I'm fucking showing up. You don't invite me to shit and I ain't showing up. This motherfucker say he can whoop my ass. Show me you can whoop my ass. So I'm there. I'm kicking him, beating on the door. Think that nigga out here, get that nigga out here. She yelling out the window. That nigga never came to the window, never came to the door. Lisa comes to the door, and then she comes out and closes the door behind her. And then she like, Carlito, what you doing here? This is the matter. This motherfucking broad I rarely ever heard her talk softly or innocently. Rarely out of the whole, 5-6 months we supposed to be together. Rarely ever heard her talk like that. She Carly, what you doing here? Why don't you just leave? You shouldn't even be here. You should just leave. And I'm like, fuck you and fuck that bitch. Get that nigga out here. He was talking shit. He said, you his motherfucking bitch. That's fine. We ain't together. You his bitch. That nigga said he was gonna fuck me up if I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you now. Get that nigga out here. I'm beating his motherfucking ass. Period. Ain't nothing else to talk about. We ain't got shit to talk about. So she is like, look, I'm asking you nicely to just go. This is what she's saying to me. And I'm like, I'm not going no motherfucking word until I get a piece of that nigga ass. I'm beating his motherfucking ass. He said he gonna fuck me up. He need to come prove it to me. Come fuck me up. I ain't leaving till that nigga get out here. Period. And then she's still like, she's like, I'm trying to be nice to you, but you should just leave before it get bad. I said, it's already the fuck bad. What are you talking about? It's already the fuck bad. Get that nigga out here. I'm beating his motherfucking ass, period. I don't give a fuck what. He got a pistol. I got that. Shit, everybody got pistols. Let's get it. I said, this nigga, I'm telling you, I'm going to beat his ass or I'm going to kill him. It's one or the other. Or it might fuck around be both. That's just it. And then all of a sudden she went back to her normal self. This is what I know I've discovered with women just through the years. Women put on a show, which they're great actresses. They're great actresses. They'll put on a show and they innocent and they sweet and they the best woman in the world. But then who they are is who the fuck they are. That doesn't change. Whoever the fuck they are is who they are. And it's going to come out when they get upset. So now she done got upset. Bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you are. You ain't tough like that, motherfucker. Boop, 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 boop. Now she done got back to her hood self. Now I'm on 10, she on 10. I'm like, bitch, I ain't trying to hear none of that motherfucking shit. Get that nigga out here. It ain't got shit to do with you no more. You his bitch. You his bitch. It ain't got shit to do with him, with you no more. It's me and him. Get him the fuck out here, period. Get him out here. I'm saying, get him out here. Get him out. I'm steady repeating, get him out here. She's like, what you gonna do is get the fuck out of here. You and your pussy ass friend. This is she just going to town being herself. That hood, ignorant shit that she's always been. It came out. Get the fuck out of here. And then she just felt like she could just push me. Boom, she pushed me in my chest. I didn't expect her to push me, but I caught my balance because I damn near fell. And I'm like, bitch, you out your fucking mind putting your hands on me. And then she's like, get the fuck out of here. And then she just comes at me wailing like she got it like that, apparently. So me being who I am, and I'm not a woman beater, at least I don't feel like I am. But from this situation, maybe I am. I don't feel like I am because I haven't hit a woman since. But that situation, I felt like you can call me that if you want, whatever the fuck ever. That bitch swung wailing and she hit. I'm blocking a few of them. She hit one and then I'm blocking the rest of them. And I finally was just like, bitch, boom. And I gave her like a real hard push to the upper sternum area like that. It was basically a punch, but it was a double palm push. And when I pushed, it was like a hit. I did that. She went flying back. Boom! She hit the ground. Her head flopped back and hit the dirt. She did like a little like she injured, just trying to play some bullshit. She like she injured, like I was gonna come to her aid. And so when she went down like that, I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out here. I'm back yelling at the door at the apartment, like, get the fuck out here, nigga. I was like, get the fuck, come defend your broad. I just pushed that bitch on the ground. Come defend your broad, whoop my ass. He never came out. He's still in there, never came out. She like, and then she jump up, motherfucker, you out your mind. And then she go wilding again. This time, I say, man, I'm gonna have to double. Bow, gave her a straight shot to the chin. I gave her a straight shot to the chin. Bow. She collapsed and fell out. Now she's hurt. Now she on the ground, like kind of rolling like that. I was like, bitch, I don't know what the fuck wrong with you running up on me. Get that nigga out here right now. So I go back to the door. Boom, 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 beating on the door. I tried to open it, but they had locked it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm back beating on the door. I'm in a rage. My heart broken at this point, but I'm still beating on this door. My boy like, hey, man, let's get the fuck out of here. They gonna call the police. You done hit the bitch. And I'm like, man, fuck her. So he pulling me, man, come on, man, come on. So, I was like, when I see you niggas up there, that's it. Get in the car, take off. So this was like a Thursday. Friday, I didn't go to school because I was scared, thinking like the police is going to come get me at the school. I was thinking the police is going to come get me at the house all night. I was just how I felt. So nothing happened. Whole weekend went by and didn't go anywhere. No police came. We end up happening Monday. I go to school. I'm looking for her, but trying to avoid her. So I'm looking to see where she at, and I'm going to just go the other way or go all the way around or something. So when I seen her, and then she was like, yeah. And I was like, man, as soon as I see her, she like, yeah. She just said, yeah. Now, I didn't hit her. Now I hit her on the chin. She ain't had no damage or nothing. And then I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry for hitting you, blah, 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 blah. If I could take it back, I would. But I was just angry. I ain't know you and dude was together. If y'all together, why you got to try to play me? This is what I had to say to her. She said, this is what she said to me verbatim. She was like, bitch, you out your fucking mind think you can hit me and get away with it. When my brothers get a hold of you, you going to wish you never put a hand on me. And then she walks away. I totally fucking forgot about her brother. Her brothers, she had a brother that was like 22, 23, another one like 25. So I'm 16, I'm tall, but I'm slim, man, I ain't whooping no 20-some-year-old dude. No, two dudes at that. That ain't happening. So I didn't think much of it. I thought a lot of it at the time, and I was a little worried about it. But I'm thinking like, nah, I should be all right. I should be all right. So I tell my boy Sid about it. I said, man, she talking about she gonna have her brothers get me. And he was like, yeah, that kind of go with the territory. You hit a gal that got brothers, them brothers gonna get you. And if they ain't got brothers, they gonna have an uncle or something, or they daddy or something. But it's rare a daddy was even around, but or they had their uncles or something get me. And I was like, yeah, man. He was like, man, it just go with the territory, man. I told you, chill out. He said, man, we shouldn't even went over there. I was like, yeah, that's past tense, hindsight 2020, but fuck that. Motherfucker disrespected me, niggas still talking shit. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm still looking for the nigga, right? So time go on. Then in the school. So I'm going to get on the bus. Me and Sid, well, I wasn't with Sid at that time, but we both rode the same bus, but I was going to head to the bus. So while I'm heading to the bus, her brothers, well, it wasn't even her brothers. It was one of her brothers, and it was another dude with him. It wasn't her other brother. And he like, Carlito, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. And he's quick walking towards me, and the other dude kind of, moseying. But this dude, her brother was quick walking. I can't remember his name. I think Derek or Diallo or something. But anyway, he's walking towards me quick, and I'm getting scared. Because he wasn't the biggest guy, but he still was an adult. So, at the time, like now kids wear a lot of backpacks and stuff. At that time, only little kids wore backpacks, like, elementary kids wore backpacks. So in high school, if you had a bag, it was a grip, the 2-hand grip bag, or you had the guys that wear the suits and had like suitcases and stuff. I think they had like a little nickname, the execs or something. But, it was something like that. Other than that, you just had the books in your hand. And most of the time you didn't have no books because you was like a nerd if you had some kind of books. But I had homework, so I had these books. I had a textbook and like some spiral notebooks in a folder. So when he started getting close, and then I started panicking, I looked down. So I turned and I dropped my folder and spiral notebook, and I just had my textbook, and it was pretty good size, about that thick. And I hit him the long way, like this is my phone. Instead of hitting him like this, where to have some play when I connect, I hit him like this where it had no play, the sideways. So when I turned around, he got up on me. He wasn't looking at least he wasn't punching me right away. He grabbed me. He grabbed my shirt, and when he grabbed me, I just turned around, bow, and hit him with the corner of that book, bow, across his eye. He dropped down, and my natural instinct is just don't stop. That's how I grew up. You get somebody down, you don't stop till they out. So I just bow, bow, bow. I'm just wailing on bow, bow. I'm working him with this textbook. His buddy or whoever it was finally gets up to me, and then next thing you know, bow, he hits me from the side. I remember a flash, and I remember hitting the concrete, and then I remember a kick to the stomach, and then another flash, and then that was it. And then I woke up in the hospital. They had beat me pretty good, had stomped me out or whatever. And from what I was told, that the security came and stopped them, or at least got them off of me the best that they could. And police came, but they were gone or whatever. And I was in the hospital 3 days. Hospitals-ish. They keep you about 3 days and you get the fuck out of here. Your insurance ain't paying like that. So, and we ain't had no insurance, no way. So, I was in there like 3 days, and I wouldn't, the police came, detective was like, well, you remember? I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I just didn't tell, because at the time it was, snitching was big. You don't tell. So I never told. And I didn't go back to school for like a week because I was fucked up pretty good. And when I did come back to school, I just avoided her. And my buddy like, man, you gonna get that nigga back or whatever? I was like, man, just forget it. I was just like, forget it. Because, it could have kept going to somebody in jail or got killed. So I didn't retaliate. I just let it be what it is. It was over with. But I still felt like the root of it was Moses, but the root wasn't Moses. It was her. She was who she was. It wasn't, she was the one cheating on me or, whatever. It was her. The root was her. The ideal thing is just to walk away. But I mean, I'm young. When you're young, you don't know what your temperament is. You grow up in a violent city where there's so much turmoil and fatherless homes. I had my stepfather, but he was on some street shit to, go do this, do that. Don't let nobody do this to you, So, but I let that go. I let it go and let it be what it was. But on the side note, this was like 4 or 5 years later. I was out of high school. I ended up seeing this Moses guy. And he was in the mall, and I don't know if it was his girlfriend or whoever the chick was he was with, but he was with this chick, and they were in one of those girly stores that's not real expensive, kind of like a rainbow kind of store. But I don't know. They changed the names through the years, Route 21. I don't know. It's something like that, but it was some kind of store like that in the mall, and the store was right there near the exit. So I'm walking by, and I look, and I see him, because we were about the same height. He might even been a little taller. And but he was just skinny as I was, and I seen him with the girl. I'm like, that's that nigga Moses. I said, I'm gonna beat his motherfucking ass. I said, I got to get my get back, because I never got to beat his ass from the point he talking about he can whoop my ass. So I went to my car, threw my bags in the trunk, and then I was like, you know what, man, fuck that. I ain't finna do that. It ain't worth it. I'm trying to be an adult, take the high road. It ain't worth it. I got in my car. I was finna start it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna let Mother Nature, I'm gonna let the spirits decide if I'm gonna do what I want to do. If I go back in there and he's still in that store, I'm beating his ass. If not, then it wasn't meant to be. I'm gonna just let the stars do what they do, right? So I go back in there. I go back, look in the store, because it was when you're coming in, there's glass along the way before you get around to the front of the store. And I'm looking in there and I don't see him. I said, well, guess it wasn't meant, it wasn't meant for me to do anything. So right when I was finna turn and leave, I see him stand up and look around, then he sat back down. He was over there near the clothing area where the people go in, you go in and try on the clothes. So she had went in to try on clothes or whatever she was doing. And he was sitting like at the little waiting seat near there. I was like, oh yeah, this nigga finna get it. So I go in, and you could tell he didn't really know who I was or didn't know me on sight. I knew him on sight, but he didn't know me on sight. So I'm walking in there and I look over at him, and then he looked, and then he looked away, and that was it. I was like, oh, this nigga don't know me. This is going to be so much sweeter. So I kind of moved around a little bit, and then I talked to one of the girls in there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm trying to get something for my girlfriend to dress, blah, 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 blah. And I just made all that shit up. I'm just trying to time it where I can really get a good shot on this nigga. So the girl, your girl or whoever she was, comes out talking to him. He's standing up. Then I was like, oh, okay, excuse me. I told the lady, excuse me, find me a size such and such. Then I go over there near him, and he's turned. And I'm like, Moses? And he turned around. When he turned around, wow! I threw my shoulder, twisted my waist, and threw my body into the punch and everything. Bow! Blood shot onto the wall of the dressing room doors, and then he fell over on the floor. And then I gave him a couple of kicks to the gut and a stomp to the face. And then I called him a pussy ass nigga, and I left out. They called security or whatever, but I wasn't there for none of that. I went and got in my car, and I had tinted windows. So I just got in my car and laid the seat back and just decided I'm going to lay here for about 20 minutes. So I just stayed there like 20 minutes because they're looking for cars that are leaving. You know what I'm saying? They're always looking for cars that are leaving. So I just sat there for 20 minutes, and then nothing ever happened. That was it. Never got arrested. Never nothing about it. But I felt like I got my lick back for him talking shit. Was that the right thing to do? Fuck no. That's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to just leave. But I felt like the stars wanted me to do it because he was still there when I got back. But that story was. That was the first time I felt like my heart was broken because it hurt. It really did hurt. I think that hurt more than the beating because I was pretty much out for most of the beating. I felt that pain when I woke up. A lot of aches and pain. I had a fractured rib. It's fractured rib, fractured wrist. I think a couple of my fingers were broken. It was little stuff like that, but I think that's just part of the game, man. And when you deal with matters of the heart, you never know what you're gonna do. You never know what you're gonna do. I would like to think, me being older and wiser, that if something like that were to happen now, I wouldn't take that route. And more than likely, I probably wouldn't take that route because I'm so nonchalant now that different things that happen, I just don't be tripping off of it, because I feel like you ain't got but one life, and I ain't gonna stress over something I can't control. You know what I mean? It is what it is. When it's there, it's there. I mean, why try to fight it? It's just what it is. So, but yeah, I tried to make it short as possible, but I guess it ran kind of long. But yeah, but you like what you heard here. I got a lot more stories, man. I'm an older guy. I've been through a lot. I got all kind of stories. I do reaction videos, and sometimes I report on news or whatever's going on in entertainment news and news or whatever. So, like what you heard here, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. Wrap this up. It's your boy, Carlito Monroe. Peace.